Today on the CTV News at 5, what some Lethbridge High School students are doing to help a friend stay in the city to graduate with them. Plus, one man is seriously injured after a fully loaded cement truck flips near Brooks. And are the needs of urban Aboriginals being met?
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Members of a local high school want to help a classmate stay in Lethbridge. Michelle Boyven's father died and she has no family in southern Alberta. Alicia Fieldberg met with students and staff asking for community support to help the teen finish school in Lethbridge.
Students at Lethbridge Collegiate Institute want to graduate with their friend. Michelle Boyven's father recently died of cancer. She doesn't have family here, so the 17-year-old isn't sure if she can stay in Lethbridge. Friends that serve on student council with her are determined to help.
She's a great member on student council, always has great ideas, and she's a great supporter of what's going on in the school. She has supported us, so now I think it's time we support her.
She's a real big part of our school, and I think it would be hard on her to have to leave. I think people would understand that, but it's also hard for her to stay. She doesn't really have the support that a lot of us did at that age.
Michelle's dad was in a wheelchair after losing his leg to flesh-eating disease. Her mom died of brain cancer in 2007. Their house was destroyed in a rainstorm the same year. The community rallied around the family to build a new home, but there's still close to $50,000 owing on the project before the title could go to Michelle. The school's hosting a pep rally to raise awareness and money for their classmate and several other causes. Friends say Michelle embodies the theme of community. She was even concerned that her story may detract from other causes the school is highlighting.
All these things just happened, life events, and so we thought this is our opportunity to help her and to help others, learn to contribute.
Like as a school, as a community, we should be looking out for each other, so this is probably one of the biggest things we could do for her.
She's been through a lot, and I think the fundraising would really help with her. Just giving her that kickstart, getting back on track with what she wants to do. Michelle says she wants to stay in Lethbridge to graduate, then go to the University of Lethbridge to become a teacher. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Now, Michelle says she's a little overwhelmed by all the attention, but appreciates the support. She is also going to be taking part in the Hunger Games, and those are going to take place in the pep rally in the school gym coming up on March the 7th. To donate to Michelle's trust fund or any of the causes the school is supporting, you can contact LCI. Michelle's guardian, her aunt from Ontario, says if Michelle can get the support she needs in Lethbridge, she's happy to let her stay in the community. Time to check in with Dory Rossiter for our first look at the forecast. And Dory, we're going to see temperatures do a little bit of a dip, but then rebound towards the end of the week.
Yeah, that's right, Jackie. The system that's going to bring heavy snowfall to Metro Vancouver, 15 centimeters they're expecting overnight tonight starting tomorrow. That'll hit us on Thursday, so it'll pull our temperatures down and give us a chance of a dusting of a little bit of snow. But the system will have weakened considerably by the time it gets here, but it will pull down a little bit of cooler air. So I'll tell you all about it in a couple of minutes. Thanks, Dory. We have breaking news. A Brooks man is dead after a fully loaded cement truck ended up flipped on its side this morning. RCMP say a 64-year-old Brooks man was driving a loaded cement truck on a rural road northeast of the community when it crashed into the ditch and rolled onto its side. The accident happened around 9 a.m. Mounties say at the time it was very foggy with less than a kilometer of visibility. There were also some icy patches on the road. We're told the driver had very serious injuries to his lower extremities. He was the only one in the truck, which belongs to Inland Concrete. No other vehicles were involved. Aggravated assault charges are pending against a 21-year-old woman in Brooks after police say she poured boiling hot water on the midsection of a 15-year-old girl as she slept. It happened last night at an apartment building in the Greenbrook area after the two got into an argument. The girl was taken to the Calgary Children's Hospital with extreme burns, third-degree burns to her lower extremities. Police say the two are acquaintances, not family. Police haven't released the woman's name, but she will appear in Brooks Court on March 28th. Charges are pending.
Lethbridge Regional Police have laid charges in an armed robbery at a pharmacy that happened over a year ago. Back on November 7th of 2010, two men wearing masks went into the Shoppers Drug Mart on Columbia Boulevard. They used a gun to threaten pharmacy staff and demanded they hand over narcotics. 34-year-old Troy William Saunders of Calgary is facing a number of charges in the Lethbridge robbery, but he's also facing a slew of charges in armed robberies in both Calgary and Airdrie as well. A 17-year-old girl is facing robbery and assault charges after a robbery attempt at Lethbridge's West Side Safeway. A man and the teen entered the store last night, and the girl tried to put a number of items into her purse and then leave the store. A security officer tried to stop the pair. They got into a scuffle. Early this morning, though, police tracked down the teen and arrested her. Her name can't be released under the Young Offenders Act. And police have also charged a 58-year-old man for pretending to be one of them while driving drunk. A 19-year-old woman reported being followed home by a man claiming to be a police officer. A short time later, witnesses reported the same man driving erratically and running over a sign. Donald Robert Griffiths was found a short time later and charged with impersonating a police officer, impaired and dangerous driving. He'll appear in court on March the 28th. And a Lethbridge woman will go to trial after pleading not guilty to stealing from her employer. Francisca Toledo faces charges of internal fraud, forgery, and theft. She worked at a local Sears store from 2008 to 2010. During that time, she allegedly made false returns to steal more than $20,000 in gift cards. The case was set over to March the 26th while the judge waits for information from an expert. Toledo's trial is expected to last 3 weeks. Well, the province says it's following through on a promise to take a close look at Alberta's healthcare system, but critics say it's not going nearly far enough. Today, the health minister announced details of a public health inquiry. It says it will focus on allegations of queue jumping and will also adopt all of the recommendations made by a recent Health Quality Council report. However, the inquiry will not look into one of the most contentious political issues of last year, allegations of bullying of physicians who speak out about the healthcare system's inefficiencies. Fred Horan says he still wants to include doctors in the process, though.
We want to work with you. We need you on board. We will do everything that we can to address the issues raised in the Council's report.
Now, meanwhile, the province still hasn't reached a deal with its doctors, but they will be giving them a raise. After almost 2 years of negotiations between doctors and the province, the Redford government has decided to impose a new pay structure. Health Minister Fred Horan is still working on a new long-term deal for doctors. He believes this move was necessary to ensure stability in the system. Horan says this doesn't mean negotiations have broken down.
Still at the table working on a long-term agreement, and in fact I believe the teams are meeting again tomorrow. It also sends a signal that we've greatly value the work of our physicians and that we want to do what we can to better support them.
The government is giving doctors an increase of 2% for fee for service and a $12 per patient increase for the primary care network. It's Native Awareness Week at the University of Lethbridge, and today students and community leaders came together to discuss Aboriginal issues within the urban community. Calgary's Mayor Naheed Nenshi spoke to the students via Skype. He spoke about what Calgary does to address issues for urban Aboriginal people. Nenshi says these problems exist in every city and need to be addressed. He also said community leaders need to be culturally sensitive without isolating any particular group. The City of Lethbridge believes having an open forum for discussion is a great tool to deal with any issues within the city.
I think the issues facing our Aboriginal residents, I think we just need to bring them to light, talk about them, get them out in the open and on the table.
It's critical. If there's ever going to be a way that we all move forward, it has to be done with mutual understanding.
Native Awareness Week celebrations and activities run until March the 4th. Wheat stem sawfly is an insect pest of wheat and other cereal grains of the prairies, and this week's Farm TV looks at a new strategy at fighting the pest.
Research scientist Dr. Brian Barris and Dr. Hector Carcamo with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada at the Lethbridge Research Centre have developed a decision support strategy for successfully managing wheat stem sawfly.
We needed an integrated, updated, modern system of managing this insect pest that really truly brought together agronomy, entomology, and biocontrol into one effective system that was compatible with today's farming system.
Biological control is a very important management strategy that has been shown to work with a variety of insects. and it's part of the natural systems that we have in all agro-ecosystems.
One of the biocontrols used is a wasp.
This tiny orange wasp, it's about 5 to 8 millimeters big, and it's very effective at killing sawfly larvae.
The idea is not to kill all the sawflies.
It's actually not possible, not feasible, not desirable to control a pest absolutely, and we cannot do it. There's always going to be some pests, and we need to tolerate a little bit of damage. We need to have a balance of both pest and parasitoid to keep the damage levels below a threshold.
Farm TV is brought to you by DA Building Systems.
To the markets now, where for the first time since 2008, Dow Jones closed above 13,000. Here are the day's final numbers.